Yo, what's poppin' everybody? It's your boy C-double-G, and today we finally have the very highly anticipated video of the best echoes and where to get them. Now this is going to be kind of a long video, so if you're looking for any echo in particular, every echo will be listed in the description below and timestamped, so you can just skip to the echo that you're looking for. But I do suggest watching the full video because you might find some echoes you didn't know about, or some echoes that are just as good as the ones you were looking for, but cost a little bit less. This video did take quite a while to make, so I would really appreciate it if you liked this video at all or found it helpful to please hit that like button so that way it can get out to more people and help more people in the Wayfinder community. Now, if by chance I ended up missing an echo that you were looking for or trying to farm and I didn't mention it in this video, please comment it in the comment section below and I'll tell you exactly where to find that echo. But without further ado, let's get into it. So we're going to start with the attack echoes. So a good chunk of the really good echoes are going to come from the Reaver Woods area, the snow maps like Shrouded Woods, Bone Orchard, and Hollowed Heart. So let's start off with the Bonebreaker echo. It gives you a ton of crit power and a little bit of break power, which is really good stats. And if you didn't know, echoes are always named after the enemy that you kill. So in order to get the Bonebreaker echo, you need to kill Bonebreakers, which are these giant dudes with axes that they throw at you with a boomerang type ability. And yeah, they're pretty beefy. Next, we got the Bloodletter echo. You get these from Bloodletters, which are the little bouncy dudes that attack you with their double scythes, like their Simba trying to attack Zazu in the wild. And this comes with a lot of weapon power and a little bit of break power. Next, let's talk about Hollow 1 echo. You get these from the smaller looking tree dudes with the green glow in its chest. These guys usually follow around a Hollow Witch, but you can also find them just chilling on their own. And they give you a huge boost to your ability stat. Next is the Talon echo. You get these from the bow and arrow dudes who rain arrows from you from the sky or hit you with their charge shot. And it comes with a good amount of ability power and a lot of crit power. Great echo for someone like Venomous or Kairos. Speaking of break power, you can also go Ice Blaster echo, which gives you a ton of break power if you want to do that for Senja or Wingrave. And these are just the ice turret dudes that float around in the ice place. Next echo we're going to talk about is Wolf echo. The easiest way to find this echo for me was to find the pit event in one of the snow areas and do that event, and eventually the wolves will spawn. We'll be talking about more on the pit later on, but to get flat crit power on an echo this high is really good, so I recommend getting this wolf echo. Alright, next we're going to go into the Deadeye Shrike echo and the Shrike Skirmisher echo. Now you can find both of these echoes anywhere in the mines, including the pit, Bloodworks, or Baldom, but in my experience, it's a lot easier to just run around the first part of the Highlands and just farm them there. Since they nerfed the drill encounter in the pit expedition, you don't really get to see a lot of these guys running around, but you can choose whether you want to do the dungeons or run around in Highlands. I just think Highlands is a little bit better, with their spawn rate being like 2 to 3 minutes. But at the end of the day, it's up to you. Alright, the next echo we're going to talk about is the Codex Sage echo. You can find these types of mobs in any of the Aurelian maps, but I always recommend doing repository when searching for any echo in the Aurelian maps. There's just so many good echoes in repository that just for efficiency's sake, you should always do it when looking for echoes from any Codex enemies. Another reason to do repository is because you get to do this event right here where you get to put in a data fragment, and if you put in one for Warbear, you'll get the Rivenmaw echo, which gives you weapon power and break power, and if you do the Goblin, you'll get the Shuul Baelhorn echo, which gives you ability power and crit rate. This is a very good event that I think guarantees you the echo, unless I got very lucky every time I did it, but I doubt it. I think it just guarantees you the echo. We'll be coming back to this event later on for different echoes, but for attack echoes, those are the two best ones that you'll get from this. Alright, next is Highlands Bear echo. I like to put these little ones in just in case you need to fill up a space somewhere in your accessories or character or weapons. Yeah, this gives you a nice little bit of crit power and a little bit of weapon power. Just go around the Highlands and start killing bears. Broodspawn echo, if you need some flat crit rate, is pretty good. You can get this from any Broodspawn, which are the little spiders that you can literally find anywhere. Ichorling echoes will give you a straight up flat weapon power boost. These are the very small slimes, not the big ones and not the medium ones, just the very small ones that spit at you. And you can find these in any of the Aurelian zones, so you know we're going repository for this. And the last one I'm going to do for the attack slot is going to be the Tiding echo. You can find this one in any gloom area, in any dungeon. They're just the little fleas that try to jump on your head and like suck your brains out. These just give a flat out little ability power boost. So check your inventory, you probably have a bunch of these already. Alright, next let's get into the guard echoes. There's not too many great guard echoes considering that defense is not really that needed in this game, at least not in its current state. But the two best stats to go for guard echoes is usually max health and resilience. So let's talk about some of those echoes. Since we're already in a gloom zone, let's talk about Wretch Echo, which gives you just flat max health. And these are the little dudes with the scythes for hands that jump at you and slash you and whatever. You can find this in any gloom area, in any dungeon. Pretty easy to find. Alright, another good echo for some flat max health is the Codex Initiate Echo. And you can find these guys in the repository or any other Aurelian map. These are the blue dudes with the giant pope hat and the giant staff on their back. Or maybe they're green. That might be green. I don't know, the guys in the video footage. Another decent guard one I would say is Frostbeak Echo. You can find a lot of these in the snow maps. They're just the little falcon birds called Frostbeak. And it gives you max health and physical defense. I think it's pretty good. And the last echo I'm going to recommend for guard is going to be the Frost Ichor Echo. It's going to give you a bunch of extra resilience, which is going to help your resilience bar out a lot. And you just find Frost Ichor in the snow maps. It's just a regular Ichor, just snowy and a lot more annoying. Alright, now let's get into the balance echoes. For the first one I'm going to talk about is called the Hollow Horror. This is like a super hard one to find because Hollow Horror spawn rates are very low, but you can find them in any of the snow maps and it gives you a ton of weapon power. There are these ghost trees with green mouths, and you can also find them in some of the pit events depending on RNG. Next one is Reaver Warbear, and you just find a Warbear in the snow map, and it gives you a ton of break power. The next balance echo I'll talk about is the Rime Mistress Echo. These drop from the giant snow spiders called Frost Hunters. These are one of the very few echoes that aren't named after the monster that drops them. But this one gives you a ton of crit rating along with some physical defense, and I think it's a very good echo. And the last balance echo I'm going to talk about is the Windhowler Echo, because it gives you a ton of break power for you Wingrave break builds out there. And it's just the owl that you find in the frost areas. Very simple to find, very much worth it. Alright, now it's time to get into the cross echoes, which I think are categorically the most powerful echoes in the game, even though we don't get too many cross echo slots, and I think that's why. But anyway, the first one I'm going to talk about is the Silent Butcher. You find the Silent Butcher in the Highlands. It's located directly to the right of the boss Talon of Pyre. And you go into the cave, you'll see two wolves, and then you'll keep going straight, and you'll find the Silent Butcher. The echo drop rate for this I think is 100%. But it also has a timer for its spawn rate. You can always relog and then find him again, or I think you just wait like 3 to 5 minutes. The next cross echo I'll talk about is Blood Warden. These are the big dudes with the giant two-handed maces in any of the snow maps, and these give both of the best defensive stats in the game, even though he packs a big old hard punch, as you can see. The next echo I'm going to talk about is Embered Shuul. You can find these guys chilling with Talon of Pyre. There's always going to be 3 of them with him. You can always server hop to try to find them, or you can run around Highlands and find this event that also spawns 3 Embered Shuuls. Whichever one you choose to do, they're pretty easy to find in the Highlands. Next echo we're going to talk about is the Forgone Emissary Echo, and this one gives you a ton of crit power. You can find the Forgone Emissary at the end of a lot of different dungeons. Just kill him and hopefully he drops one. Or you can find the sacrifice event on one of the snow maps and kill him here, and he also has the chance to drop the Forgone Emissary Echo. Alright, the next echo is Hollow Queen Echo. Unfortunately, I don't have any footage on me getting the echo or fighting the mob to get the echo, simply because there's a lot of RNG behind it. It gives you a ton of ability power and a lot of max HP, but you need the pit event to spawn on one of the snow maps first. Then you need to hope that RNG is in your favor so that way the King's Hollow boss can spawn at the end of the pit event. Then hopefully you can get the echo from the King's Hollow to drop in order to get the Hollow Queen Echo. It's very hard to get this echo and it's very strong. The King's Hollow is a giant version of the Hollow Horror mob, just in case you were wondering. Speaking of echoes that you can get from the bosses in the pit, you can also get Old Ertos Echo or Turach at Mourne Echo. These both rely on RNG for which one you're going to get at the end, just like the Hollow Queen Echo, but there might be a way with imbuements. If you guys know about making this more consistent, please let me know in the comments below. It'll help me and a lot of others. Next echo we're going to talk about is Shroudstalker Echo. This dude you're going to find roaming around any snow map. He's the blue saber-toothed tiger that turns invisible. He can also spawn during the pit event. I'm telling you, that pit event got all the good stuff. Alright, for these next two, we're going back to the repository event. This time we're going to put in a turtle sword data fragment to get the Highlands Horror Echo, or we can put in the Ichor data fragment and get Vaelor's Blood Echo. It just depends on whether you want resilience and crit power, or you want max health and crit power. But either way, both of these are really good echoes. And again, I'm pretty sure they're 100% drop rate once you kill the boss at the end of this event. And the last cross echo that I'm going to talk about is the Firebrand Echo. Now please forgive me, do not murder me, but I do not know where I got this echo from. I'm pretty sure it's in one of the mines levels, maybe during an old kite quest or something. I have no idea where I got this one at. I just had to mention it because it is a lot of ability power. So if you guys know in the comment section below, please let us know so I can pin that comment. But this is the only echo in this list that I just could not re-find. Even though I have it already on me, I don't know where I got it from. Now we'll talk about rush echoes. Mind you, I'm not really going to get into rush echoes like that because all you have to do is kill whichever boss that you want the echo for, and eventually they'll drop it. The only echoes that I think are worth are the first and the Beastmaster echoes anyways. But there's also one secret echo that you can get from this event in the repository dungeon. It's called Equilibrium Echo. And the only way to get it is to do this event that spawns in the repository dungeon only. And you have to make one side light and one side dark, one side gold, one side purple, whichever way you look at it. And once you defeat it or complete it, it'll give you that echo at a drop chance. It's not 100% drop chance, so if you don't get the echo, you're going to have to try again. But if you do get the echo, congratulations. And those are all the echoes that I've obtained and saw that I thought were worth it or worth mentioning because of their stats and what they're able to do. If I didn't mention an echo that you wanted to see, please let me know in the comment section below so I can look into it for you, or if I know, I'll just straight up answer your question. And if you have any other questions at all that pertain to anything else Wayfinder related, please feel free to comment them in the comment section below. If you liked this video or found it helpful, please make sure you hit that like button. It took a long time to make this video, so it would really help me out if you just gave it a thumbs up. And if you would like to see more helpful Wayfinder videos like this in the future, make sure you hit that sub button and that notification bell. Anyways, it's been your boy, CGG, and I hope y'all have a dope ass day. Deuces.